from Plugged In TV, and today I have with me Vivek Ravishankar, the founder of Interviewstreet.com. And Interviewstreet is the first Indian startup to get selected for the YCombinator incubation program. So good to be here with you, Vivek.
Thanks, Nikita. Glad to have you in our office.
Yeah. So why don't we begin with you share the thought process behind applying for the YCombinator program?
Yeah. So we were helping companies screen programmers with programming tests. We still do that, and this problem is not very India specific.
Okay.
So every company who wants to hire good programmers face this problem. So we needed a foothold. Granted, you can actually get customers from the US or get a lot of traction in the US being in India. A few startups have done that. Visual website optimizer for one.
Okay.
But I felt like a presence there would probably enhance it a little more, and so we applied for Y Combinator in summer 2011.
Okay. And how much time did it take between the application period and getting the final call from the YC guys?
So I think they invite only after the application period is over. I'm not sure about that, but I think that's how it works. I think within about a week or two, once the deadline was closed, we got an invite to come to California for the interview. And so it's about like maybe a week to 10 days.
Okay. And what was your preparation before the interview, and how much time did you get for the preparation?
Honestly speaking, I didn't prepare. Firstly, because one, I thought it was a pretty long shot. So unfortunately, my co-founder didn't get his visa, so I had to go there alone. And PG generally bets on teams, the founders, more than the idea, more than the market or whatever other things.
Okay.
So and he's never funded a company that's like completely based out of India. So it was definitely a long shot, and I didn't prepare much, although I did read through previous YC interviews, the experience and things. But to be honest, the thought process in my mind was just go to US. If we get into Y Combinator, good. Else spend a couple of months in understanding the customers who are sitting there and get some feedback and build a better product. So fortunately, we got into Y Combinator, and then it's a different road.
Okay, but you must have had some numbers in your mind. So what were those numbers you were ready with for the meeting?
I don't think they asked anything of that sort.
Okay.
In fact, I think we are when we applied, we were a much more mature in the sense beyond prototype or beyond validation stage. Whereas most of the Y Combinator startups who apply are maybe they're just starting off. They just have a prototype. They just have a demo video things. So the questions are never about like what's your customer acquisition cost, what's your lifetime value and things. It's more about the founders, what is driving you to start, or why are you so kicked about solving this problem, or is this a real pain point and things like that.
Yeah, so that was my next question, that during the one-on-one with Paul Graham, right?
It's actually not one-on-one, it's 6-on-1.
Okay. Okay, so
it's pretty stressful, but yeah.
Yeah, so how much weightage did they give to the part where they had to understand your idea? Because what we've heard from Paul Graham's videos or through his essays is that they invest in people and they don't care much about the idea. So how true is that?
No, they do. They definitely care about the idea, but the preference or the priority that they give is to the founders. So if they really like the founders, I think they are in. So I guess he liked me. And the interview was pretty hard, definitely. There were 6 people sitting in front: Paul Graham, Paul Boucher, Sam Altman, Harj, Jessica.
Okay.
And so they fire questions parallelly.
Wow.
Which means you cannot take a serial answer. You cannot like wait for one question to finish and the next.
Okay.
So I had my netbook there. So there were a couple of guys who came back and they were seeing a demo, and there was a small bug during the demo, and there was another. Then PG was asking questions there parallelly. So you have to tackle all that.
Okay.
So yeah, it was an enjoyable 10 minutes and stressful as well.
So, but then what did you do to impress these guys, right? You must have done something that they selected you.
No, I should ask PG only. But I mean, like truly speaking, we really thought it was a long shot, like really long shot. So I was just like totally transparent. I mean, typically when you have expectations before an interview, you might not be the true yourself because you want to get that. So you might try to think what will make him feel good or what might make him feel better and things. I didn't have anything of that sort. I was just me because I thought it was a long shot, and fortunately it worked out well for us.
Right. So see, usually in any interview, people make up their mind in the first 30 seconds whether they want to pick you or not. So could you take us through the first few minutes of your interaction, and what was the first question, what was the second question? Remember?
So the first question itself was like 10 because there are 5 people who asked. So the first, I think they knew about what Interviewstreet was. They had an idea about what we were up to. And I think the first thing that PG asked me was, "Do you have a demo?" I said, "Yeah, I do have a demo," and everyone came to the site to look at my netbook. It was a small 10-inch netbook. So more people were close to my shoulders to look. And so I demoed the compiler, the code checker, how it worked and how it screened, like you can hit compile and test. And I think Paul Boucher took my netbook and said, "Okay, let me play around with this for some time." And he went and sat, and so he was typing something, he was checking the code, and he gave me comments that it shouldn't be CPP, it should be C++, not CPP. So and then there were parallel questions about how do you acquire customers, what is it that you've learned talking to people, and how are you going to compete with, let's say, Topcoder or other companies. So I don't remember the question order because it was all parallel. So
Okay, so how was it knowing Paul Graham, and what did you learn from your interaction with him? Did your perspective change in any way after meeting him?
I think the biggest advantage that you get about YC is definitely their office hours, and the YC dinners are amazing. Like you get to meet almost the biggest guns in Silicon Valley, from Zuckerberg to Max Levchin to everyone. With respect to PG, he's very transparent. So which means he doesn't have a filter. Whatever he thinks, he just says. He doesn't have a filter in between, like whether this guy is going to feel good or bad or something. So he just says what he thinks. The biggest advantage, like as I said, he's totally transparent. So which means he's going to ask questions directly. There's no covering up and things. Like he's going to ask, like, is your startup dying or is it just surviving? So you have to justify to him that it's not dying, which means that you have to maybe pick up metrics, pick up numbers, and say, okay, this is why I think it's not dying. And so the office hours has been like a great revelation. And second thing about YC is I think he's pretty much connected to everyone possibly you want to meet in the tech world. So which means if you want introductions, if you want connections, he's always happy to give. So so that's a great thing about YCombinator and Paul Graham.
And what about Jessica Livingston? What is her role in all of this, and what was her role in picking you? And
I don't know what exactly each one of the roles, each one of the partners in YC plays, but from whatever I've heard from PG, Jessica is very good at identifying whether this is a good team or not. So which is a big thing.
So, also you mentioned about the life and the dinner parties you have at YCombinator. I was just wondering that did you receive any memorable feedback or any crucial feedback from the product people out there?
Yeah, I mean, so we were helping companies screen programmers, which is the true need. A lot of companies are using our product for that. Like the big companies, even funded startups are using our product for that. So I think in one of the discussions with Paul Boucher and PG, we just identified that there might be a bigger problem that we can solve, which is basically sourcing programmers. So when we can amongst the 10 people who applied, if our loop can say that amongst the 10 people who applied, these 2 people are the good guys. If you're actually going to give those 2 people, like if you can source programmers from the companies, that'd be like a much better. Yeah, so office hours are really helpful, and so I think one of the discussions with PG and Paul Boucher, we figured that if we could actually be a programmer database where we could source programmers, that's going to be a much bigger value proposition to companies than screening programmers. So that's when we built this new product called Challenges, and I would say that that's doing amazingly well. We recently signed up Apple as our customer. That was a big party.
Cool. So now coming to life after YC, what has been your takeaway from YCombinator, and how has that part changed your business?
It's definitely given us a lot of visibility in the US market, which otherwise would have been very hard for us. And yeah, so we have set up an office there. So I'll be moving. And since the product addresses a global concern, so it's good to have a presence there in the US as well. Okay. So that's something that I think I totally owe to YC.
And could you give some specific examples of how the product has changed?
One of YCombinator partners is Gary Tan, the co-founder of Postgres. Postgres is known for elegant design. So in terms of design feedback, like I learned a lot from him. In fact, I used to pester him so much that he started almost having design classes for me. Like every time after our office hour, I'll ask him to come to Starbucks. Like he used to spend like an hour or hour and a half helping me understand what UX means, how to place elements, and how to do. And then slowly I started getting a hold about that. So our whole UX has changed, and we're still changing. We just hired a designer.
Okay.
And so you would see a bunch of things on our site that's going to change.
Okay. And now almost coming to the end of this talk, could you give some advice to people who are planning to apply for the next batch of YCombinator and want to make it there?
So I think there is an article, there is a page in YCombinator's site that PG has put about how he reads an application form.
Through that page.
Yeah. So the first thing and most important thing that you get out of that particular article is that you have to be crisp. If you notice everything, like I've never seen a PG's email more than 5 lines till now, even if it's the biggest decision that he has to make. So crisp and to the point is something that he wants. So every answer, he hates these prologues. Information is something that has to be secured and done and things like that. No, like what are you actually doing? So it has to be to the point, and definitely founders is a big thing. For example, me and Hari, we knew each other for 7 years. We were classmates in our college. So the founders have to have a great bonding and should have known it well. So those are maybe the 2 things that I think would catch his attention when he scans through the application.
Okay, so on that note, thank you so much for talking to me. It was great talking to you, and
thank you so much for coming to our new office. It's still there, but yeah.
Right, and for all the viewers out there, hope this helps. Do let us know your feedback on this talk, and for more interviews, stay tuned to Plugged In TV.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.